My best friend knows me so well that she got me the Milk Cosmetics Smoke Sessions for my birthday. Do you know why this is a perfect palette for me? Not only because it's greens, look at these. Oh, stunning! Not only that, but I do like to partake in some elevation from time to time, and I have not tried this out yet. So we're gonna do that together. I am so excited. And sticking with the theme, why don't we go ahead and elevate? I did some skincare while I was waiting for that to start kicking in, and now we're gonna play with some makeup. I am going into this with absolutely no plan of what I'm doing, but I am gonna start by priming my face, even though I'm thinking I'm gonna use tape. So I think I'm not gonna do my base first. I'm still gonna prime my face because I like the primer to sit for a little bit anyways, and honestly I meant to do this with skincare. So I'm using my e.l.f. Sticky Goo Primer. This is the Power Grip Primer. I like to call it the Sticky Goo Primer because it's just really sticky, and honestly I love that. It does really help my makeup to last and to go on evenly, which is what I'm looking for 99% of the time. I almost never do this. Not gonna lie, I really don't use tape often, mostly because I'm not really going for a lot of those harsh lines that tape gives you, those nice crisp lines. I shouldn't say harsh. They're just nice and crisp. And usually that's not necessarily the vibe I'm going for, but I think I want it to be the vibe today. So I'm gonna try to remember how to put tape on my face. I think I want it a little bit angled up. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Ooh. I remember why I don't put tape. That's not a fun feeling. I got it a little too close to the inside of the eye, so it was like literally pulling. I obviously did not need such a big piece. So this piece might not be that. I don't know what I'm doing. Now I'm just going to take some concealer and create a base. Is this the best eyeshadow base ever? No. Does it work? Yes. And am I going to go and buy extra products that I don't necessarily need just because it's not the perfect base? No. I can still get a good look, and it's a lot more affordable not getting extra products that I don't necessarily need. I usually do not have an issue with any kind of creasing or anything like that with my eyeshadows. That is something that makes a lot of people reach for an eye primer, and honestly, if you are having that problem, an eye primer might be a really good solution for that, but it's not an issue I'm having, at least not yet in my life. I'm not quite 30. So I think I'm going to start with Space Queen dipped with Sour Diesel. I think I'm going to dip these two together to get the very outside of what we're doing, and then we'll go from there. These are also fully clean brushes, meaning there's no other pigments to mess with the way that these are performing at all. It is going to be a completely true to palette test. So like I said, I'm going to dip into Space Queen and Sour Diesel together, and this is what it's looking like on the brush. And I'm going to start packing that. Woo! I don't know what I was expecting, but oh my gosh. That was just one barely tapped in dip, and that is some strong pigment. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm excited. That was amazing. On a little bit of a fluffier brush, I'm going to pick up Space Queen by itself. And I'm just buffing that some towards the inner part of the eye, off of the edge of what we laid down a moment ago. I don't fully know what the vibes of today are going to be, but I can tell they're going to be grungy. And I'm all for that. I'm taking a completely clean brush and not picking up any product, and just gonna go over that very edge and smoke that out some. That very, very top part. I'm loving this. This is some of the quickest like smoky eye vibes that I have created. And I think that's because usually I'm really nervous as I'm building up the product, but these two products went on so smoothly and so easily that I'm really not nervous. And I'm dipping back in with Space Queen and a little bit of Sour Diesel. I'm going to actually tap off some excess and just build up the outside on this eye. Really patting it on more than anything. Just going to deepen this section up too. Clean brush again. It's not quite clean now, but big fluffy with just Space Queen. I just want to deepen this a little bit more. So now on a small flat brush, I am taking Space Queen. This is a flat brush because I'm going to pick it up only on one side, and I am going to turn that side up. So the side with the shadow is upward so that we can get that nice line. If it was pointing downwards, it would be pulling the shadow further into the eye than what I am wanting to go. So pointing it upwards, I can be really precise with what I'm trying to do. I'm going deeper on the inside, and then I'm pulling that shadow out. So I'm not really picking up any new. I'm just using what's on the brush and what's on the eye to kind of smoke out that edge. And I'm picking up just a little bit more of it, not much, to kind of deepen up the inner part and work on that gradient. Loving it. That same brush that we've been using that we haven't picked any product up with, I'm just going to take and buff out some of this edge. Now, honestly, I could take some micellar water and clean it up, but it's not that bad. So I'm going to go in and just go ahead and cut it without worrying about taking any product up. If it was more dragged into areas that I'm wanting to cut, I would just go ahead and take the micellar water and clean it up. But that just feels like an extra step for me right now, and one that's not necessary because this went on so smoothly. Honestly, it feels like butter. I had no clue what I was doing here. I'm just going with the flow. I am doing whatever comes to mind. And I did not go into this thinking I was going to cut it up here, but then I was like, I might as well cut it up there. With a flat brush, I am just going to take that concealer, and it's been sitting on this eye for a second, so I'm going to take it and just kind of blend the edge of that out on the bottom part. And then the same on this eye. This is going to be the hardest part of this look for me, is deciding if I want to do green shimmers or gold shimmers, because these are beautiful. I think I'm going to do both. I don't think I'm going to hold back. I think I'm going to do both. So I'm going to start by picking up this deep green, and it's mean green, and I'm just picking it up on my finger and tapping it over this very edge. Oh, okay. It's laying down really well. I felt like I didn't get very much on my finger, but it was definitely giving me pigment. Pow. The one right beside it is called Sweet Tooth, and I'm just going to pick a little bit of that up on my finger. Oh, that's going to be stunning. I am going to take that further in than I was originally thinking, because that's so pretty. What do you mean? Oh my goodness. I'm picking up just a little bit more mean green and going over the very edge just to kind of bring mean green back alive, because I feel like Sweet Tooth came out and stole the show. Stole the show. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a brush now, because we are going to go to a little bit of a finer, more controlled area, and we're picking up Blue Dream, which is the shade on the very end. And this is a flat brush. It is not the best flat brush in the world, but it is nice and small. Okay, not gonna lie, I like it, but not as much as Sweet Tooth. It is a really nice highlight against Sweet Tooth, though. I feel like a gradient like that helps to bring some dimension. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to take a Q-tip and some micellar water and just cut that inner line a little bit better, because I'm loving this, and I think it'll really help the shimmers to pop that little bit extra. So we're going to be very careful. I'm going to do some base makeup, and I will be right back. So for the under eye, I'm going to take this same flat brush, and I'm going to pick up Sour Diesel. And again, just on one side so that I can point that one up, because we want to keep it as close to our lash line as possible. This is a really interesting color because it's very smoky. It looks like really green in the pan, but then when you start to apply it to the eye, it looks kind of like it looks like a foresty green, a brown green. And even on camera, it shows more brown, but there is like a mossy kind of green color to it. But on the eye, it's very like warm, brown, semi-green. Like it looks very dark, a lot more than I was anticipating when I first opened the palette. Which is also due to the pigmentation, because it's going in so pigmented that you're getting a lot of payoff. Completely clean brush. I'm just going to buff that a little bit. Now with the same flat brush that we used with Blue Dream, I'm going to grab Gravity OG, which is this very gold color. And I am just going to start stamping that in. Starting in the center, overlapping with where we just put Sour Diesel. Okay, and now I'm using the flat brush that we used with Sour Diesel and picking up Space Queen, again, all on one side. And I'm just going on the very edge of the eye. I am trying to be as controlled with this as possible. As you can tell by I'm taking this very seriously, opened mouth. And because we haven't yet set a base, I'm just going to take and kind of tap the edge to get that a little bit smoother. And with the same tiny shimmer brush, we're picking up Gravity OG a little bit more, just to tap over the edge of that and blend those two edges together. And I'm actually going to take it just a little bit lower down, because I feel like I want to see more of it than what I'm seeing. Yeah, that was the choice. That was the move. I am going to pick up just a little bit of Granddaddy, which is right beside it, and blend that over the edge of the shimmer and like just right here. Deepen that up a little bit. Whew, we're cooking. We're cooking. I am having a lot of fun with this look. We're cooking. I feel like this look deserves some graphic liner. So I brought over my entire container of liners so that I can pick and choose what colors I want. I'm thinking maybe this green, but I do also have chameleon green that I love and use all the time. But I feel like it just might not be quite the grungy vibe that I'm going. I also have a gray. Of course, I have some black options. I fear my gold option might be a little too dried out to use. So I'm going to start by going in with a black liner, and I am super nervous because this could really just make or break this situation. This is a stamp liner, and I'm going to take full on advantage of that. I'm pretending like I'm going into this with a plan, but I'm honestly just going with the flow and seeing where the flow takes me. Okay. Yeah, the flow has made a decision. Okay, this is not my best black eyeliner to use. I'm gonna need to go in with something that's not quite a felt tip pen. Yeah. With the flat brush, I'm just picking up some Space Queen, and I'm going to tap that over the edge of the liner on this outer part so that this part, while it is harsh, it's not harsh, if you know what I mean. Because the flow is feeling out there today. Just cleaning this up the slightest bit. Now I'm going to take Ghosted Green Vivid Bright from NYX Cosmetics. Still using the Vivid Brights. Black liner. And before we move on, now that the green has dried down completely, I'm going to take the chameleon green, and I wanted to put down the original green so that I could get a base color so that this would pop as much as possible. And I'm going to start covering those greens with that chameleon eyeliner from Wet n Wild. Okay, let me finish up the face and I'll show you what we're working with. So this is our final product, and I don't know about you, but I think I kind of ate with this. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below if you agree or if you think I should just quit. So thanks so much for watching, and if you would like to help me out, you can hit that follow button and give this video a like. All interactions help. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more of it, hit that follow button. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.